May the words of my mouth and the meditations of all of our hearts be acceptable to you. For you are our rock and our redeemer. Amen. These first words of the Bible are so familiar that sometimes we don't really hear the strangeness in them. But listen. God said, "Let us make humans in our image, according to our likeness." That one sentence carries the most significant claim about humanity in all of the Bible. Let us make humans in our own image. In Hebrew, it's Elohim Amer Ased Adam Salam Demuth. Elohim is the plural of El, which means God. And ancient Hebrew wasn't about employing the royal we, but rather is putting forth a new theological concept, that out of many conceptions of God, there is one God. That God contains within themselves a mystery of multiplicity, a universe that we cannot fully comprehend, and so our ancestors wrote Elohim. It says, "Let us fashion Adam." Adam means humanity. It comes from Adamah, which means the earth, earthling, made of the earth. Let us fashion Adam in our own image. The Latin is imago Dei, the image of God. So we exist somewhere between the earthiness of Adam and the holiness of Elohim, carrying the image of the God of the universe within the earthiness of each of us. The first creation story in Genesis goes that God creates the people in their likeness, blesses the people, gives them some very clear directions about caring for other creatures, and also to eat a lot of good plants. And it was so. God saw that everything God made, and indeed it was very good. Very good. Everything up until this point in the story is just good. But here, God looks at the whole of creation and notices that it is very good. The text does not say that God looks at humankind and calls them very good, but that God looks over everything that God had made, and that the whole connected world, that is what is very good. The goodness of creation, human and non-human alike, is a non-negotiable biblical value. Created by God, blessed by God, seen as good, and indeed very good. Despite all the bad news and history to the contrary, despite all that you have heard about us, the core truth of what it is to be human is that we bear the image of God, and that therefore we are very good. We've been persuaded otherwise. Our ability to perceive the holy in ourselves and in the other has become muddled, distorted by cataracts of culture and systems of sin, hammered by messages that we're too fat or too tall, too loud or not smart enough, too young or too old, too sick or too frail. We live in a world where some types of people are treated as if they are more holy than others. But we each bear that image of God. At the very heart of each one of us is the very likeness of the divine. No message of culture, no personal wound, nothing can change this about us. Not about you and not about me and not about the people you love. Not about the people you fear. Not about the people that you dislike. Each of us at our very center bears a piece of the holy. We bear the image of God. The image. No one of us is God herself. We don't carry the whole thing, we carry a piece. We are not God, but rather like Mary, mother of Jesus, we are bearers of the divine. No one of us holds the holy completely, and so when we shut out the other, when we refuse to comprehend the divine in another one, we shut ourselves off from perceiving God in God's own fullness. Each one of us, at the very heart of who we are, holds a shimmering holiness, the image of God, and that is unchangeable. Not by culture, not by white supremacy, not by cis heteropatriarchy, not by meanness, not by anti-fatness, not by anything that you have done or failed to do, not by anything that has been done to you. You bear the image of God, and so does everyone else you have ever met. The shining face of the person sitting closest to you, the people you ignore on the T, the children of Yemen and Sudan, the elders in nursing homes and those who care for them, the people at our borders and those who seek to close our borders, the people we admire and those that we despise, all of them bear the image of God at their very core. No matter what labels or beliefs or actions or inactions we layer on top of it. Recovering that image, that imago Dei in ourselves and each other, is a fundamental call of the church in every age. And for this church in this day, we are called to vigilance to protect the divine image in all that is. We are to find and heal and reveal the divine in everyone and everything. We are inherently good. And as the story tells us, we are part of an interconnected world that is itself very good. We live in what Dr. King called an inescapable network of mutuality. That network holds strength and beauty, and it is an inescapable fact of life, this web that holds us. But that kind of connection makes us vulnerable. Such deep connection means that anything done in the web affects the whole of the web. And a harm done in one place is a harm done to all. Harm done to creation ripples through the atmosphere and the waters, affecting all of us, though not equally. People treated as disposable, whether in Gaza or in prisons here in the US, distorts the image of God in the whole of humankind, because we are connected. God looked out over what God created and saw that it was very good. And so this network, this web of relationship is inherently good. And God moves within that network as the Spirit hovers over the waters, calling us back into right relationship, back to that goodness which is the very core of us. But relationship, as so many of us know, well, it's risky business. We are capable of causing and absorbing so much harm. To be connected in this world is not safe. It holds equal risk and equal promise. But is not risk and promise the raw material for love? And so who are we? We each bear the image of God, a piece of the holy right at the very center of our being. This is immutable and inescapable. Equally inescapable is the fact that we are bound up together with one another and with the whole web of creation. And so when we're estranged from the holy within ourselves, or we fail to comprehend the holy in other creatures or communities, we suffer, and we cause suffering. Because in this web of creatures, we are vulnerable. Any wounding of one of us ripples out to wound the others. But when we see it, when we see that divine image in the other and we lift it up, when we protect it from the assailing forces of degradation and dishonor, then we grow more and more and more into who God created us to be. Elohim Amer Asa Adam Selem Damuth. And God said, "Let us fashion humankind in our own image." And together it was very good. So it was, and so it is. Amen.